Hey guys, so this video I wanted to go over some changes I'm making to my technique going into my meet. I'm currently basically 4 weeks out right now. I'll be competing on April 13th, I believe is what it is, at the FitCon Powerlifting Expo in Utah. So there's gonna be like a $2,500 cash prize, so pretty exciting. But there are a few things I'm changing with my technique going into this meet, and hopefully this helps out some of you guys. And the reality is that with technique, you're always going to be changing it. Like as you get stronger, things just change, And like for example, with my deadlift, just to get like right into it, I made the choice to switch from conventional to sumo because I do believe that my top end on sumo is higher than my top end is conventional. At least right now, based off of how I'm feeling. Because typically, what happens when loads start getting heavier on my squat, my lower back tends to get more fatigued, and then my conventional deadlift tends to get more affected by that than my sumo does, just because of how my my leverages are for my squat. So one big thing that I'm doing on my sumo deadlifts, if you guys look at how I deadlift in the past, I'm traditionally a little more of a quote unquote explosive deadlifter. If you look at, for example, my 722 deadlift, you'll kind of see how I kind of grab the bar and kind of slam into it. There's not really any slack pull prior to it. It's kind of just literally just grip and rip. But if you guys watch the position I get pulled into, I might feel more powerful here. I actually might be able to produce a little bit more force, but it's a big power leap because I slow down as soon as you guys see that slack get pulled out of the bar when the bar starts to bend. So just seeing that again bend, and then you get pitched forward and have to go. What I'm doing right now is I'm really focusing on, as I am starting my deadlift and I'm getting on the bar. When I get to right here, I'm going to slow this down. So where's the playback speed? Okay, let's do this half speed. So if you guys look at how when I go down to the bar, I'm going to start off up here, grab the bar, pull up on the bar as I'm wedging down, and try to keep as much that tension and slack basically in the bar as I'm driving up and with my torso and down with my leg. This is, basically I've gotten to a 722 pound deadlift without pulling slack, which is impressive. But at this point that I'm at, for me, I can get really anything moving off the floor, and I can be explosive anyways, but basically having a little bit of a short and more wedging position. If you guys look at how the distance my hips actually travel here from where I wedge there, it's a very small amount, versus you look at my 722, there's a lot more movement, and this results in me making a lot more errors. It's a little bit more of an aggressive movement, more space I have to travel. This is less, and I also start off in a better spot where I go down, my hips stay a little bit higher because this is just the position I'm strongest in. So this is taking a little bit to get used to, but 744 was pretty smooth. If you guys look at the regular speed, you'll see how there's much less of that lag time between when I actually initiate my pull versus not. When the bar actually breaks off, it's much more smooth. And now this is a new neural pattern. I'm not as used to it, so it's going to take some time to get used to. But motor learning can happen pretty fast, especially with my context. I'm a little bit more advanced and I have a few other things going in my favor right now. This is my down set with 579. Again, the biggest thing that I struggle with is as I feel like I'm maintaining that pressure, but I don't really keep that. It's as I'm wedging down, what I want to have happen is I want to maintain that tension in the bar and not let it go at all. I kind of let it go a little bit, and ideally I can get this slack pulled to the point where you see how much the bar is bending upwards. That's just that's where I try to start, but then where it goes is right there. And you guys can also see my hips go back more if I'm trying to have them too close. Basically, my sumo is like a wide stance conventional. This is just going to help me out with being able to pull what I'm actually capable of versus not. And a little bit better on that second rep, right? And we're just trying to. The thing about deadlift is that the first rep is all that matters, right? So again, higher hips. Basically, as I'm wedging down into the bar, with both my hips pulling up on the bar more and trying to maintain that as I am driving my torso high and my legs down into the floor. Now, second off is going to be my bench press. So for those guys of you who may be following along at home, I've been dealing with a pec minor strain. It's just something that I've had off and on. Like I've benched 381 on a fat pad, like wasn't a pause, but it was touch and go like over a year ago, and I haven't gone back to that strength. One of the things that I have not done a very good job of in the past has been depressing my scapula. So basically there's the depression of your scapula when you're pushing your scapula down towards your hips, basically down away from your ears. This basically helps protect the shoulder joint a little bit better, makes you feel a little bit more durable, and basically it's just a little bit of more safe movement for your body to have at the shoulder joint. Because I haven't done that in the past, if you guys like watch my, you guys can't really see here with this a ton. If I go right down to my 358, for example, and this hurt like hell, there's like no shoulder depression. It's just totally just like, I'm like slightly like retracting, my shoulders are just really high. I'm touching really high on my chest. So what I'm doing right now is basically cueing, I'm trying to use my lats a little more. Like this is when the class when you would want to use your lats is like on a powerlifting bench press for shoulder depression. So as I'm unracking right here, I'm trying to, you guys can see right here with this motion, I'm bringing the bar down towards my hips with my shoulders. So yeah, my motion, you compare that to this motion, when I actually get that unrack. Let's show this first. Not a ton, it's very slight, not as much as it should be, versus let's go over here. You see this, much more of that depression. This is also going to allow my elbows to stay a little more in front of the bar on the bottom and allow me to be a little bit stronger, and be a little more safe, because it's essentially like, I feel strong in this position, that was, has gotten me pec minor strength, because like I'm just constantly trained there. But for me, if you keep getting hurt in a position, you need to change technique. So that's what I'm doing on my bench press mainly. I'm also trying to really think about elevating my chest up a little bit higher by breathing a little bit more into my chest on the unrack. So, for example, a good cue is breathing into the back of your throat. You want to still be able to maintain your neck being as flat against the pad as possible. If you're not able to do that, you're not doing it right. But trying to really focus on breathing into my chest, not letting it fall as it goes down into my chest, and allowing my shoulders to depress on bench press. So just one more time, bring those shoulders down, elbows in front of the bar, chest high. Then the last thing I want to go over is going to be my squat. So there's a couple things. So number one is going to be my head position. So if you guys look at my 496, I've gotten this habit of like looking more down on a squat. This isn't very good because you're going to lose some of that passive cervical spine extension, so the upper back. And that's kind of like why you'll see me at heavier weights start to tip over a little bit more, is not only because I'm lanky, but because my my neck isn't back and tucked. If you look at something like Gustav Hedlund, for example, you watch how he squats. See, look at his head position. It's tucked back, and he maintains that position. And what that's allowing him to do is have a little more upper back extension, which is causing him to be a little bit stronger. Look at Austin Perkins too. He's a little bit less exaggerated, but he does the same thing. And the unrack finds his foot. Again, it stays high. If you would compare that to me, you see that I kind of dropped that. I don't have that at all. I was doing it, but I kind of stopped doing it. There's no upward glance. It's just totally down. That's making it harder on my back. So that's something that I'm doing. One other thing I'm doing, and I made a post about this, is basically pushing slack out of the bar before unracking, because this is something that's like I've had to focus on more as the weights have gone heavier, especially like a squat bar. It's basically pushing up on the bar as you unrack it. Like this is a good example of this. So in this video, you can kind of see like when I'm getting under the bar, I'm fucking around right here. Wow, holy shit. When I'm getting under the bar, I'm trying to basically drive my, as I'm getting wedged into, from what I get under here, I'm thinking of pushing up with my legs to basically wedge myself into the bar, push that slack out of the bar. This is going to allow the weight to also feel less heavy on your back, and it's really like big brace. And there's going to be a lot less whip on the unwrap, because that slack will be pushed out. It'll feel much better on your back and stronger. And then again, with me looking more up instead of down, is going to help me with that upper back extension, being able to hip depth a little bit more comfortably, and be a little bit less reliant on my back, and have more of that thoracic extension in my back that's really necessary for heavyweight. So those are a few technique changes I'm making right now. Hope this is helpful for you guys. It's something I do with my clients too. We kind of look at where your movement deficiencies are, what we need to mostly fix, and a game plan. So if you guys have any questions about what I said, just ask down in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.